Alright, how we doing, folks? Your boy, Marcus on 205 numbers after the name. A little tight Tuesday action over here, man. This is actually the alpha, man, which I still don't. I didn't record the damn audio for because the PS4 is weird. I don't know. It's crazy to have a system for like as long as I've had the PS4 and still have like really no idea how to use it. Hopefully, I'll be better with the PS5. Hopefully, the PS5 comes. I don't know. We'll see. A little tight Tuesday action over here. A little gameplay comes down to Living to the Wall, to the wire. We're gonna put some beta footage up here in a little bit, but I just wanted to get this last alpha one out here before I was done with that. But I'll talk about the beta and kind of my impressions so far with it. It definitely runs smoother. Now, I've only played since it's been open beta. I haven't pre-ordered the game, honestly. I'm not sure what system I'm gonna play it on. I'm not really sure when I'm gonna get those systems. I don't know if I really want to play it on the older ones. I haven't really figured out in my mind as to like what I'm gonna do with the game. I will buy it, I assume, at some point, but pre-order wise, I'm kind of like, we'll see. And I really didn't have time to play the betas either. Really wasn't until like this Sunday that I actually had an opportunity to sit down and actually be like, all right, we're gonna play this game and see like what it's about. This past Sunday over here, so it didn't really like affect me at all, really pre-order or not pre-order in that sense. But I did get around to playing it a good amount on Sunday. I did get a good amount of playing it on Monday, since they extended it. And my overall impressions are still kind of like the same as like the alpha, like really positive. I think they tweaked the audio a little bit. Where you don't hear footsteps as loud anymore, which I think is good. They were like a little bit too loud, but you still could hear it, so I think it's a pretty good like play. There's one thing that like kind of like bugs me a little bit about it. I think for me personally, the time to kill is a little bit too fast. That's separate already, but like the time to kill is still a little bit too fast, especially for like a Treyarch game. I'll get used to it. I can live. It's not really like the end of the world in any way, shape, or form, but it's still like too fast. I would have preferred if it was like a little bit slower, but whatever. You adapt to that kind of stuff, you know. Modern Warfare 3, for example, was a game that I got like really, really good at. The time to kill was like stupid fast, but eventually I just got used to it. But the one thing that I do gotta say that I'm just like, a little bit, about, is the, well, there's two things actually. Let me start with the easier one. I really don't like, and I guess it's for better connections they'll sell you on or whatever. I don't like how like the lobbies change every time you play. Like in the alpha, you were able to stay in the lobby, I'm pretty sure, and that was that. And in the beta, you can't. I assume this is just for the algorithm to figure out like the best connections possible, or you know if there is skill-based matchmaking to figure that part out. Whatever. I assume that there's other factors that are involved in that. But I really miss, like, I remember, like, back in the, like, the old days, you know, like, the Black Ops days, you know, you would, like, sometimes be in the lobby. If, like, Cat stayed, you could be in that lobby for forever. Like, you guys would play against each other forever, and you get a nice little rivalry over there. Or, you know, for us to, like, play solo a lot, all of a sudden, like, a crew of, like, 4 or 5 people, like, come through, and you, like, beat them twice or something, and they're, like, pissed at you. And then you, like, have, like, a good fight, you know, like, those kind of things that just develop naturally in the game. To me, were pretty fun, and just removing like the lobby, it's just to me it removes like any sort of personality that you might have with playing anybody. Which I guess, whatever. If you're looking for a more fair experience, I guess the personality really doesn't matter at all. But I don't know. It was always a cool thing to me that like you play somebody, maybe like I don't really notice people that much. Like when I play them, in all fairness, I don't really like look at their names or anything like that. But I don't know, if you play like the same dude like 4 or 5 times, eventually like it'll stick and you'll be like, oh damn, like this dude's like killing me. Like hold up, yo, let me like figure out what he's doing, and then you might learn and be like, oh, he likes to like run, I don't know, like engineers, or he likes to run like C4 all the time. Let me put like flat jacket on. You know, you gotta make these kind of like just adapting to the situation decisions, and you kind of begin to build a narrative a little bit with playing against somebody and developing like a rivalry of sorts with that person. Whereas, like, with this new system, like, it's just generic people all the time. There is no, like, every time you're playing, there's somebody else. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who's bad, who's good. It's just happening, and that's it. And, I don't know, there's just a part of me that kind of misses, I guess, the good old days when you could, like, play against the same people, whatever. And if you were, like, in a good lobby, you could be in a good lobby. And guess what? If the lobby's, like, too tough for you or you don't want to be in the lobby, you just leave. Like, I ain't telling you got to stay in that lobby. I'm just saying you at least back in the day had the option, too. So, I don't know. That to me is just a little pet peeve right there. I don't think I'm going to win that battle. I think the skill-based matchmaking and the connections are going to be like super like more important than that. And that's kind of the caveat they'll use there. I haven't played without crossplay on. I just keep forgetting to change it. But I would like to try that out. Just because there are circumstances where I just feel I'm just getting clapped like extremely quickly. And I don't know. there's a part of me that's like, when I look and I see, it's like, oh, everybody in this lobby is on a PC. Oh, okay. And then I just get murdered. I'm like, I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not me. I don't know. I need a bigger sample size in all fairness. And I also have to pay a little more attention to who's on PC and who's not on PC to compete. I assume, and I'm pretty confident that, like, people that are on mouse and keyboard are separate from people that are on, like, controllers. I mean, that was how my offer was. I'm pretty confident that's how it still is. But nonetheless, it definitely feels like a lot different. So we'll see. I don't know. I should, like, take off crossplay and stuff before I even, like, mention something like that. The other thing, and I think I see some other YouTubers, like, posting videos and stuff, is, like, just visibility, like, seeing people. I don't know. There's a lot of times when I will, like, be looking right at an area and just not see somebody who's, like, head glitching and just die. Now, I don't know. I never, like, Black Ops 1, like, jungle, right? Like, you had, like, crates and stuff in the middle there where you could, like, head glitch and stuff. But you can still see the person's head. And this, it sometimes can be, like, a little bit tricky to, like, see somebody. And I really think it's just the character models, really, that we're looking at. Like, they're all just kind of, like, just grayish to a certain extent. Which is fine. I mean, I don't know. You don't need, like, some dude with, like, highlighter, right? Like, you trying to go to war over here. You ain't, like, really necessarily advertising your position like that. But for video game purposes, you should be able to, like, see somebody, I think, a little bit easier than you see in this game. Too often, like, and, I was playing it, not even, like, a dark maps, too, whatever. Like, Miami here is a little bit darker, so you could kind of tell me that maybe somebody was, like, hiding in a corner dark and you couldn't see him. But, like, playing, like, Cartel or whatever, that new map, which is pretty light, sometimes I'll just, like, be looking, like, right at a car or something, and I don't see the dude, and he just claps me, and then I'm like, where was he? And I'm like, oh, he was just, like, right there the whole time. I was like, damn, like, I completely missed that. Like, oh, okay. So those are just some minor gripes there that I don't think ultimately will be fixed, but that, I don't know. Ultimately, though, the gunplay to me still feels very strong. It feels just like another Treyarch game, really. In all fairness, like, I've never had a Call of Duty game that, like, feels so natural already from the beginning, because just, like, a lot of these guns feel like older guns. Like, it almost feels like it's like a mishmash of, like, other guns that they just put together. I've really only used the submachine guns and the assault rifles, so I can't speak for the LMGs or the sniper rifles in that. I could get murdered with the sniper rifles, though. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely better than the Alpha. Definitely a lot more tamed than the Alpha, because the Alpha was out of control with the sniper rifles. But still, like, you could just get lit up at, like, any point and, like, murdered. So, it probably still needs a little bit more balancing. I have a feeling that they'll probably bump them up instead of bump them down. I feel like that's, like, the next thing they got to do. The other thing, though, that has been a negative for me is the objective game modes, the objective play. So I didn't really care that much for the fire team, whatever. I just wanted to play TDM and kill confirm. I'm a pretty simple guy. TDM, kill confirm, that's it. Maybe some Dom, maybe some hardpoint, but TDM, kill confirm for the most part. But they have you in a mosh pit playlist where they have Dom and they have hardpoint and they have control, which control's really growing on me. You'll see some control footage here, because I actually would quit out when I would see the controls up there. I was like, I ain't playing this. And then eventually it kept brought up. I was like, I guess I'll play it. And I was like, yo, control kind of alright. Especially if you have some people with you, which I did it. I did not. I had nobody. So anyway, the objective modes to me are kind of really hamstrung by the kill streak situation. So a lot of games are hardpoint. I was the only guy at the hardpoint, period. And I was the only guy at the hardpoint because you really don't need to get the hardpoint to get the streaks. Like, as long as you get, like, yourself a merciless, like, you're en route to get your bigger streak separate from the hardpoint. Now, that was the case always, but not as egregious as it is here. Whereas, if you just play the hardpoint straight up here, maybe you're not getting that bigger streaks, right? Maybe you're only getting a couple bloodthirsts here or there. You're not getting, like, the big streaks. You might end up the game with a ton of points, but not enough to get you the big streak. Or if you do get the big streak, like a chopper gun, for example, it'll just be right at the end, and that's it. Like, you won't get it any earlier. But if you go out there and don't play the objective and just kind of pick and choose where you're at and, just get yourself like a solid merciless or whatever, then you'll probably have that chopper gun a little bit like halfway through the game, even if you like just, shit the bed after that. It's a flaw to me in the kill streak thing. I ultimately don't like the kill streak thing adding up or whatever. It does allow me to focus a little bit more on the game, I will say that. Like my one-on-one gunfights, because I'm not like kind of looking over there to the side, worried about when I'm getting this or when I'm getting that. I probably should look at it a little bit more to have like an idea. But I can't stress enough how important it is to get these streaks and get these extra points added here. Cumulatively, over time, you will not add up enough to actually get the damn thing. Like, it is just not possible. I mean, I don't know. If the game goes long enough, you probably can. But for the most part, like, you are going to have to get some streaks. A couple times I got a chopper gunner, I got a merciless, or I got like 2 or 3 bloodthirsties to get me to like that point. Plus like objective play, and even then I got it towards like the end. So it takes like a lot to get there. I would prefer for them to go back to the kill streaks. Like it used to be the score streaks, like whatever. Because I feel it did motivate people to get on the objective a little bit more, man. Like those 200 points for capping like A or like, you know, B or something like that. People would hop on there. And of course, some people would just hop on there last second to get the points. Whatever, man. But that's better than people just not going to it, which is what's happening now. And that's, you know, it's a tricky little balance, and it's up to, honestly, the people to play the game straight up. And I'm sure if you're playing with your friends, obviously that kind of changes things. But if you're just playing with random people, the thing I've kind of noticed is you're shit out of luck with the objective modes, especially if you're playing against a party. Forget that. Those guys just got to dominate. I mean, they usually do to begin with, but now they're really, really got to dominate because Cash just ain't hopping on there because there's no reason to hop on there. So there's a lot of like little tweaking that's going on here, and a lot of these changes that I'm bringing up today I don't really expect to change at all the game. I think it's just the narrative and the meta of the game that's going to develop. It would be cool if they did like a big 180, but I don't know, for that to happen everybody must be like angry, so I don't think we're going to get to that point. Overall though, Cold War seems to be playing pretty smooth. If to me, it ran pretty smooth. I enjoyed my time with it. It's got its flaws, but it's definitely a multiplayer game that I could get down with in the Call of Duty universe. Some beta footage with some audio coming up here.